Hello there, everybody. God, I wish that was on video. OG just had a moment. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Oh,
But,
my hat came off, the headphones came off, and just everything started flying back.
we'll put her on now. Maybe she'll do something else.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Oh, geez. Now you got to move or something.
What? Again, what is what?
Just
Is that okay? There we go. Right? Good.
anyways.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Happy Saturday, January the 3rd, 2026. I'm Eddie Vitale, host of My Fight Our War. And yes, that is OG.
Yeah.
She is finally.
I got it together
Yeah.
for the moment.
Yeah, we'll just
He's
wait.
he's the star. Okay.
We'll wait here and see
I'm
what
just-
happens.
I'm just the Gracie Allen to George Burns here.
Oh, yeah. People are like, who?
Well, we were
Yeah.
talking about
Who?
old shows yesterday.
Yeah, I tell you what, man.
was fun.
Yesterday,
That was fun.
guys, was just a
Woohoo.
didn't know what to expect, man. It was just one of those, as always, one of those things just for you to throw out there, right?
Well, Vincent
And,
was on it.
Oh,
I mean, he
man,
was.
Vincent tore
And
it
then
up.
Trisha was on it.
And
then
once
Dan
it
came
started,
on.
it
Yeah.
was good to go, man. What we did yesterday for, well, wait a minute. I'm talking to myself. Let's see. I love it when people come on and go live, and they're live. And just like for me right now, it shows one. But there's times where all of a sudden we'll have other people that are on watching,
Yep.
and I just don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. You'll sit there and someone will go live, and they're going like this.
So it says 2 now. Yeah, they're waiting for some. Amber's on.
And
Amber,
they're
we
just-
missed
see,
you
like
yesterday.
right now, I don't see anything on my monitor.
Yeah,
But I love it when people are live and they're like, "Okay,
yeah. We'll wait
I'm
till
just
somebody else
gonna
comes on.
we're gonna wait for people to come on," and they just sit there and they're like,
Yeah, really. It's funny. There's a few people that do that.
and
It's
they
like,
just
why?
sit there and just look at the camera. It's just like, go live, and just go live
Yeah.
and whatever, man.
Oh, we had a great show yesterday.
Oh,
And we're going to kind of do like phase 2 tonight because it was
oh
talking
yeah.
about old TV shows and what you remembered and what kind of like where you were and the memories they brought back, the good memories that they brought back,
Yep.
and some of the old shows. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I tell you, it was just a lot of fun.
Mhm.
It was one of those, Amber. I don't know if you saw it. Yesterday, I was I can't remember. I was in the truck and I was driving, listening to one of my shows, and they were just talking about 2025, and
Mhm.
I watched part of it yesterday. You wore sleeves today. Yep.
Ah, see, she did watch
Yep.
the show.
But yeah,
the
we
show's
were
better with you when you're here and on it.
we were
Amber.
just I was just sitting there and I heard the people on the radio were talking about 2025 and things that happened in the past year, and one of them brought up different shows, and they were just talking about just shows from the past when they were young, and then that they used to watch with family friends, and then shows that they watch now.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the hell, man? So I threw it out there yesterday, and man, I tell you what,
It lit up.
was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Just it went from Vincent tore it up, man,
Oh, yeah.
and Trisha, everyone jumped in, but it was fun. We had everything from the Brady Bunch, we had All in the Family, you name it, MASH, and yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. And like I was saying, for me, the reason I wanted to do it was not only just to talk about some of the older shows that was fun, but it also brought back a lot of memories at the time,
Mhm.
because I remember watching these shows. I was just a little guy, and I was living with, it was me and my mom, it was like my Aunt Gert, my Uncle Harry, my grandma, my great grandma. I mean, there was so many of us in one house, but we were all together watching TV,
Okay,
enjoying
how many bathrooms in that house with all those people?
one.
Oh my God.
It was a bungalow style. There was 2 small bedrooms downstairs and then just the one room upstairs. And at one time it was me, my mom, my Aunt Gert, my Uncle Harry, my grandma, my great grandma. And then even like when my great grandma passed and we had family members that were a little bit older ended up moving in. There was always at least like 4, 5, 6, 8 people. I mean,
That's nice.
but you know what? I was just a little kid. I was, God, I started school there. So, I mean, I was probably 3 or something. But just some of those shows, yeah, it was fun remembering the shows. And, but just the memories of being in the house, being in the room with all of my family, and
Family
just
sitting around the TV
enjoying,
on a Sunday
yeah,
watching
just like we said,
Bonanza
not
or
doing
Ed
this,
or
not
Ed
being in the same
Sullivan
room
or
and everyone,
The
literally
Wonderful
in the
World of
same room,
Disney.
and
Yeah.
then text each other in the
Yeah.
same room. But so I threw it out there just to, and it was just a lot of fun,
Yep.
with all of the shows, the memories, and then was it Vincent who
Vincent
said,
had a lot of them.
isn't he the one that said, what were you doing in 1985?
Oh yeah, we're in 1985, and boy, oh boy, I
So,
had to think back. Well, okay, how old was
yeah,
I? Where
and
was I?
it was basically taking a trip down memory lane, and it was just let's from time to time, because how this is a very focused family. This is a very focused show. We do everything according to plan.
Buy the book.
When I say we're coming on at 7, I'll be on by 7:25 or so. But yeah, so it was just a lot of fun, Amber, and with everybody else that was on, and just it reminded me of something that we were told. I remember we had a few people that said that watched the show for the first time, and then came back and watched it again, and caught a few different shows, and said that the one thing they really liked about the show is it's basically just a lot of involvement, not only from us. Man, I got
Cat hair?
Susie, but it was just
Excuse me, dog hair. I apologize.
don't call her the C word.
I won't either.
Don't call Susie the C word, man. She's a
Mm-mm.
DAWG.
Mhm.
But I've had so many people say that they enjoy the show because we're not just going to sit there and talk about one thing and that's it. Day in, day out, we're going to discuss stuff when needed. When people are guests on this show, it's all about them. I've said it many times. When we have a guest who's going to give their story, yeah, I host the show, but they're the star of the show. Just like when we're doing this, host the show and all that, but you guys are the family. You bring.
Oh, Donald's on. Okay.
Yo, Donald. But it's because of you guys. And
actually, there's a couple of people that I've heard say they find it fascinating how you'll be talking about something and whatever, but then they'll look at the things and they can tell that the family is talking to each other.
Yeah, we'll bring up something,
not necessarily ignoring you, but
no,
they're talking,
we'll
saying hello to each other, and
we'll bring up something, and then someone will acknowledge it, and then someone else will acknowledge that person, and maybe bring up a memory or a comment to that person regarding the same subject, but about themselves. And that's, I brought it up before, where we had, I can't remember his name. It's when I first started bringing guests on. He was nervous as could be. And this is before we went live. And I remember telling him, because we were talking about hunting and up north in the woods. And as soon as he said that, I said, man, I go, for me, I just love being out in the woods. I love sitting by the fire. I go, there's nothing like deer camp and of course hunting and all that. But being there with people you just love, being up there with family and friends,
and
being out in the woods and sitting by the fire and just talking and reminiscing about old times, new, things that you want to do. And I go, you know what? And so I told this guy, I said, that's what you think of when you're on this show, that we're just family, all sitting around the fire, just, reminiscing and enjoying each other. And I was watching him on the monitor, and you could see he was just like, he took that breath, and after the show, he really liked that, man. He remembered that, and so that's what we do. And like I said, it meant a lot because this is people from other shows who said the same thing.
Who like what you do?
It's like what we do. Different. It's all of us. We can't have this without you guys, of course. So definitely appreciate it. Tracy, Amber, Gary's girlfriend is Tracy. And thank you so much for.
She's reaching out to
I was
everybody,
just gonna say, because
giving
Amber,
them a
I'm
nudge.
getting a little better, because from day one, I was always told you're supposed to always ask people to please go to Caleb. How you doing, man? I was always told when you're on, make sure you ask people to please go to YouTube, go to Tik, do all this, subscribe, share, and I never do. It's just like, first of all, you guys know, but Amber, thank you so very much. You and Jacqueline and Heidi and Caleb,
And Caleb doesn't work on
Trisha.
Fridays or Saturdays. Wow. Normally you're here getting ready to go to work.
Yeah, so it's this is
Glad you
it's
could
just a
join.
lot of fun, man, and it's very, very enjoyable. So it's Saturday.
Yeah.
It's Saturday, and we've got one half of the Shenanigators. So it's gonna be some shenanigans
Yeah,
going
'cause
on,
Jackie showed
especially
up
when Jacqueline shows
way
up too.
late yesterday.
And of course, another big shout out to Jacqueline, who is a day older than yesterday.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
where's Jacqueline? Where's the
birthday
birthday girl,
that's right.
Donald? I know. Yeah, and you know what, Amber? I missed it as well. She popped on here and told us.
Amber, Manny sang happy birthday to her. Just saying.
Yeah, I sang happy
She goes,
birthday.
I hope you guys all celebrated.
And see it. OG was like, God, don't
Don't.
sing.
Do you need some chapstick? What's going on?
Yeah.
Here.
But no, I'd rather just sit here and
Just-
pick my lip and
and
spit
let it
skin
bleed?
all over. Yeah,
Well,
bleed. It'll be good live TV. But yeah, Amber, because that's one thing that's a thing that we do, me and my mom, every birthday. First thing in the morning for my birthday, I'll get a phone call from my mom. And as soon as I answer, my mom sings happy birthday. And for my mom's birthday, same thing. And do I sound terrible? Of course I do. But you know what? I did it anyways. I'm going to continue to do it. So unfortunately, Jacqueline had to hear my rendition of happy birthday. And in the background, you had to hear OG saying, don't sing it,
Don't
just
sing
say it, which is great for your confidence. So, anyways, almost maple syrup month. Time to get cotton candy. Donald, you the man. And Donald, again, I want to thank you very much. Here we were just talking about our up north and our campfire and hunting and all that. Donald has been just really putting a smile on my face with your posts. Donald's been posting
Dan, you're on
deer
time.
hunting, ice fishing, and the pictures are just awesome. Even the ones showing, I don't know if it's like your lanes or your by your blind, but just seeing those, I tell you what, man, it just, again, memories. And I really like it. Vincent yesterday, between bringing up all these amazing shows and stuff that we were talking about, I was telling them how it was so much fun for me in so many different ways. And it was not only bringing back the show, but the memories of the family and friends that were around me at the time. And Vincent made a comment about, what do you say, like precious memories or something like that. And that's what it was about.
Oh, look, and Donald's going fishing tomorrow.
Get it, man.
Ice fishing. Please be careful.
In 3 minutes, give or take. What's 3 minutes?
Dan said, how late am I? I said,
Oh,
about 3
Dan,
minutes, give or take.
you know what?
He's
You're always on time.
Whenever you show up, it's the
That's
right
right.
time.
But yeah, so Donald, good luck fishing, and keep those posts coming, because I love seeing those.
Look, at Donald wants to go to Minnesota to try fishing. Well, you really do want to get on that ice, don't you? Oof.
Oh yeah.
Get a little ice shanty. You probably can rent one, I'm assuming.
How's it going, Manny Vitale and the family? We are good. Tyler
Tyler's here.
Thomason.
Oh, whoa.
We got Tyler, the man, the myth, the legend from Knocking Out Addiction. I still didn't get a chance to see the show, but I will check it out, Tyler. Donald, it's been very cold. Yes, it has. But
Mhm.
for us here in Detroit, we getting a little dusting here, some snow, and it did drop down the temp down into the low 20s, and it's going to be that way. What did it say? Saturday. It's going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be in the 50s,
Mm.
and then Sunday, you're going to drop down into the low 20s. Welcome to Michigan. Welcome to winter in Michigan.
Yeah, and we've had somebody. The reason why I said to please be careful because there's somebody, was it yesterday, who went through the ice in one of our inland lakes.
Yeah, you got to
Lake
be
Pleasant, of
careful.
all things, the name of the lake, Lake Pleasant. Yeah, well, it wasn't so pleasant for that young man.
Yeah.
even
So,
know if he
and
made-
then back to Donald again with these posts, and it's with all of you guys, man. I've said it so many times how our words, don't ever underestimate yourselves and your words and the comments that we make, because you'd be amazed how much they affect people. And not only that, but pictures bring back memories that maybe you would never think. Just like when I see Donald's, man, uh, of him being out in the woods for deer season. I used to do the same thing, man. I'd be out there in my blind, and there'd be no deer out there or anything at the moment, but I just loved the scenery, man. Just everything about that moment. And I just take a picture. It'd be maybe my shooting lane, or just taking a picture of different parts of where I was hunting at, and just absolutely loved it. So seeing Donald's posts and the pictures made me go back to that happy place. And just like all you guys, when you're showing pictures of yourselves and your kids, your family, your friends, uh, you might be sparking in something in somebody who might be having a pretty shitty day. Maybe they had something happen, and seeing your post or your picture of you and your kids, you and family or friends, or maybe doing something, whatever, and that person who's having such a terrible day all of a sudden sees that, and without saying a word, just by seeing your post, you change that person's whole outlook.
Mhm.
So please keep it going. And
Oh, Jonathan's driving, listening and driving.
uh-oh.
Be careful.
um
Jonathan's fine.
Donald, my quiet time. Yeah, that's one thing about and I don't want to just focus on one thing, because we go all over the place here. But when I'm out in the woods, man, it is so quiet at times. I remember talking to somebody about hunting, and I said, "You're out there. It is so quiet that it's actually seems loud at times," and it seemed very obviously weird as hell to say, but it was just like you could hear every little sound. I mean, it's something where you could be out there and a little tiny field mouse could sound like a big ass buck charging through the woods. And Donald, I know you can relate to this, but I've been out there, and when you're hunting, you want to get out there early. And yeah, no one can see that. You're on freaking camera. She just leans over. She's got all these snots hanging out of her nose right now. She's like, nobody will see because I'm leaning over behind this sunflower. Look at the boogers. Oh, look.
Oh, I
It's
couldn't
not
leave-
funny.
Well, then I'll leave the room the next time I have
Oh.
to blow my nose.
But
Ugh.
anyways, Donald, like I said, you can relate to what I'm talking about. And anyone who's been out in the woods, but when you're out there hunting, you want to get out there very early before sunup. So, I mean, you get to your spot, you turn that flashlight off, and you literally cannot see your hand in front of your face. That's how dark it is.
Mhm.
And it's so damn cool and neat. But at the same time, you're sitting there and you're out in the middle of the woods, can't see a thing. And after you settle in about 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe, all of a sudden nature forgets that you walked in. And next thing you know, you start hearing things. The little, critters that are running around the floor of the forest, man. And I swear to God, I was sitting there and it sounded like a grizzly bear coming behind me. I mean, you hear like the rustling leaves, and I guess it's magnified. You're out in the middle of the woods.
Sound
You know,
travels.
and of course you don't want to move. And there's just like it's sure as shit every now and then click that light on just to make sure it wasn't like a skunk, whatever. And I did it before, and more than once, it was just a damn little field mouse. No, just tiny as could be,
Yeah.
but sounded like a damn big ass buck tearing through the woods. But anyways, so
Heidi's on.
Heidi's on. How you doing, Heidi?
Amber yanked her in.
Heidi, Amber, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, look at this. What Donald said. I got my. That says I got mine.
Donald, or you hear a growl.
No.
Yes. Well, no, I'm just going back with that.
Oh,
You
okay.
hear a growl or a grunt or a snort, something like that, and it's a buck, getting ready, but you're in the middle of the woods in the dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face. All of a sudden, it's like, damn it. I know no one saw Bigfoot except for me because he's about to kill me. Donald.
He got his neighbor a fishing license for Christmas. He's never been ice fishing, but's coming with him tomorrow.
Oh, that is so damn cool.
That's
I tell you
nice.
what else? Even if you don't hunt fish, just
it is. Yeah.
Here, I got to put that up there. Just a walk in the woods. You talk about, just a very relaxing feeling. It is just, let your mind go. I mean, you're out there. One of the nicest, I've had so many just amazing times just being out there. You guys know my brother Jerry, the one who died right in my arms. It was my brother. And I remember the year that going into the hunting season when he passed away, they gave me his gun and his rifle. And I was out there and I got to my blind and it wasn't covered at all. I was just basically branches and stuff that I made this little one. It was one of my blinds, and I'm sitting there and sun comes up and all of a sudden starts to snow and just coming down little flakes and all that it starts picking up a little bit. And it was like a snow globe. I mean, big flakes coming down.
Beautiful.
And all of a sudden my mind, it was like a slideshow of Jerry and me. I've known him since 4th grade, man. And like every memory came back as I was sitting there. I looked down and I'm holding his rifle and just staring out into the woods. It was like looking at a movie. Here I am staring at the trees, the bushes, the pines that are covered in snow at the most beautiful setting and thinking of the most wonderful times I had with my brother Jerry. And so, yeah, I mean, just being out there, it just really just relaxes you. So if you can get a chance, get out there and, good exercise, get out there walking, take care of yourself, your health, mentally, emotionally, recharge your batteries, get out there and just enjoy life, man.
And dress for the weather and you'll be fine.
Yeah, go out there, but be a great time. Heidi Sullivan. Let's see. I will not pull a hook out of a fish's mouth. I absolutely cannot do it.
And Amber, she went hunting once with a boyfriend once, but I didn't want to see a deer get shot, so she kept making noises.
Who said that, Amber? She's like, hey, is that a deer over there? I said over there.
Oh no.
Donald Blow. I can't do it. I feel like I'm torturing it. Cousin Tony, how you doing, cousin? You know what? Since we're all just sitting here chatting a little bit, I'm going to bring a little knowledge. And what is that, you might ask?
Poop
it's
and
time
learn.
To perp. It's time to poop and learn with My Fight Our War. Let's start off with something. We'll start with some camels. Camels. People always say, camels store water in their humps and all that stuff. It is not true.
No, it's not.
Despite the myth, camels don't actually store water in their humps. The humps are made a lot of fat, which
Mm.
helps them survive long periods without food. Camels stay hydrated because their bodies are incredibly efficient. They can lose up to 25% of their body weight through sweating without getting dehydrated. Their blood cells are also oval shaped, which helps them keep circulation going even when water is scarce. So the next time you're sitting there and someone says, "Do you know anything about camels?" You could say, "Well, yes, I do." So, how's that? And from there, we will go to, let's see, I'll only do a couple. Yeah. Um,
Well, here's a
Here's one,
okay.
turtles. I said
Oh,
this the other day, but this is another one of those facts, people. If you never know, you're sitting around and someone says, "Hey, Amber, did you know what turtles can do?" And Amber can go, "Well, yes, I do. Did you know turtles can breathe through their ass?" And how is that? Well, I'm glad you asked, Amber. Turtles have a special ability called chlorocal respiration, which allows them to absorb oxygen through their ass. This comes in handy during winter hibernation when they are underwater for long periods. While it might sound like a party trick gone wrong, it's actually a clever survival tactic and one more reason turtles deserve our respect.
speaking of ass, Donald responded to Amber so that he'd shoot her in the ass if she did that to him about
Ah,
making noise for the deer.
don't say ass, say rectum. Rectum
Oy,
shit, it
ooh,
killed
ouch,
him.
ouch.
Oh, and here we go again, Amber. If anyone asked about, well, Amber, do you know any facts about wombats? And you would say, a wombat? Why, of course I do. I learned this on My Fight Our War. And that fact is wombats are the only animal known to produce cube shaped poop. That's right. Their intestines contract in a slow, uneven rhythm that forms flat edges instead of round ones. This helps the poop stay put when marking their territory, which is important in the wild. Scientists studied it for years and still agree that it's weirdly impressive.
You're weirdly impressive.
He's got look, Donald. He's got all those bookmarked.
You see, he's been doing studying.
No, see, I just love it because there's Donald. I could just hear right now. He's like, he's got all of those marked, and we've only gone 5 minutes.
Now,
We've started the show, and he's got bookmarks. And cousin Tony, hey Amber, did you see that? What cousin Tony just put? We need some jokes. Well, we are kind of in that pattern here.
Strange facts.
Strange
more than
facts.
jokes.
So if anyone else wants to pop in here with a strange fact they know about wombats,
Or
about
any other.
pandas.
Yeah.
Speaking of pandas,
What
did you know they eat all day? Pretty much all day. Giant pandas spend up to 14 hours a day eating. What do they eat? Bamboo. 14 hours a day. They're eating bamboo. Despite being bears, their diet is almost entirely vegetarian. And they need to consume a lot to get enough nutrients. They can eat over 10 kilograms of bamboo daily. Most of their day is spent chewing, napping, and then chewing some more. It's a very slow and peaceful lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Things gave me a plenty of shit to talk about to my psychiatrist on Monday. Amber, if you walk into your psychiatrist and say, "Did you know what?" Now, I bet you he's not going to know these. Oh, where's one I want you to tell him? This one, I don't know if I marked it, but Donald, that was very good. He marked all of those pages, and I'm still having a hard time finding them. Oh,
what?
well, let's see. I could afford to eat all day. I could, I would. Heidi, I'm glad that I hope that you like that because we have something else here. Uh, and Amber, this would be a good one to start with your
Psychiatrist?
session. Just say, hey doc, did you know that bread rises with tiny farts? That's how your bread rises, by tiny little yeast farts. How is that, you say? I'm going to tell you.
Oh my
Yeast, the fungus used to make bread rise, eats sugar in the dough and releases gas as a result. These tiny gas bubbles are what make the dough puff up, become soft and airy. So, yes, your loaf of bread is full of millions of microscopic yeast farts. Delicious, fluffy, and slightly gross, just how we like it. So, there you go.
We had ribeye tonight, Donald.
Let's see.
He said I
Any
instead of eating bamboo all day, he'd eat ribeye.
bamboo. Yeah.
Donald would eat ribeyes. That's what we had.
I'm enjoying them. See that, Heidi? We've missed you, and I'm glad that yeah, let's see. Now, does like if you guys have some fun facts, please jump in because if not, I've got a whole book.
Oh my God.
And last I checked, let's see. I know that you guys have all been thinking Lego. Those toys, Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like
expensive.
did you
They're good,
know
though.
what that means?
Lego?
It means play well. Where have you been? Everyone knows Lego means play. And she says she's the smart one. Anyways, Lego means play well.
What,
The name Lego
in
comes from the Danish
Danish?
word
Okay.
leggot,
Lego.
which means play well.
Okay.
The company started as a wooden toy maker in 1932 before inventing the plastic bricks we know today as Legos. It is one of the biggest toy brands in the world with movies, theme parks, and even sets designated by fans.
They have a whole Lego store when we go down to Disney World. If
Amber
you want to buy,
You're getting coal for Christmas.
yeah.
Oh man. But so what's going on? It's January the 3rd. How's everyone's new year going so far? I hope it's going well. It's this is just insane that I still remember my anchor saying, don't wish time away. The older you get, the faster time goes. And I thought, Anchor, it was crazy. Well, 1 minute when she told me that, I think I was in probably 4th grade. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And man, I tell you now, it's just like, it's just insane.
I know. Has anybody got good plan? Like Dan, has anybody got good plans for this year? Because Dan Gibson was talking about he's hoping to be able to drive across country this year. So what I told him,
who's doing it, Danny?
Dan Gibson. So I told him, I said, if you're heading anywhere toward Michigan, please give us a heads up.
Oh, yeah. As far as that goes, yeah, it's a new year, man. As far as stuff from 2025, let's jump in both sides of the pool, man. What were some of your best times of 2025? Some of your highlights, some things that really meant a lot to you in 2025 that you're proud of. Some happy moments of 2025. And let's carry that on to 2026.
Hanging out with Brian Cody out thing.
Yeah, what are some of the things that you in 2026
with Donald
are looking forward to do? So think about that. 2025, what are some of the things that really meant a lot to you? Some things that you may have done, accomplished, goals set, whatever it was that.
And what are you doing? What are you doing in 2026? Anything special?
Nope. Just enjoying life, enjoying every minute of every day. Who? What? We have somebody.
Anthony Vitale said we have somebody with a big birthday coming up. So I said, who? Laura?
Manny sobriety
or you?
Date. Manny sobriety.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, cousin Tony. You're absolutely right.
January 27th. Yeah, I tell you what, My best times of 2025 is Manny Vitale joke times. I just pray we
That's so
get so
sweet.
much more in 2026. Oh,
I think this is your therapy session, Amber. Why are you paying a psychiatrist? You just hang out with
oh,
Manny
oh.
here on the show, you know?
And remember what was it? Kalisha said that if you listen to me long enough, you'll just go to sleep. Wasn't it Kalisha that said we
Well,
were
there's
talking?
also a friend of yours at work, right? Who said that he and his wife listen to you, and
She
his wife
likes to
yeah,
listen to
'cause
at
you put
night.
her to sleep.
Yeah, he said we enjoy watching the show, and he goes, yeah, my wife really enjoys listening to the show because she said she likes my voice because it puts her to sleep. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, I was kind of hoping that maybe she would be engaged in whatever kind of shenanigans that are going on at the time. But if you're looking for sleepy time, and that's right. Kalisha was the one that said I could get, I should do like a GPS.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I would love to do that. Have my voice do GPS. It'd be in 200 feet, turn right at the light. And then a few minutes, in 75 feet, turn right at the light. Then turn right at the damn light. I'd have my own little version of GPS. So that would be interesting and fun. And or I would just sit there and say, turn right at this light. And as you're turning, say, just kidding, go to the next light or something like that. Hey, just a thought, just a thought. Is Anne Marie here?
No, I sent that. I'm doing an Amber. I sent it out, so hopefully it'll hit her phone and maybe she'll think to come on because she wanted to come on.
Yeah, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to send her the link, but still having issues. I was messing with it earlier, and we were able to get it to Coach that time
with a lot of trouble.
And so trying to figure out what's going on with that, but we will figure it out, get it straightened out, and be able to get some people on here to jump on. And but as of now, hey, we're here. And with what is going on? What is going on, Amber? I have no idea. And Cookie
she's
in the house.
And Cookie, you're in New Jersey, right? Hey, New Jersey's in the house.
Oh, I'm trying. Oh, it was funny too. Was it Danny or I think it was Danny yesterday when Jacqueline popped on after she got done with her birthday dinner. And she was telling us, she had seafood for her birthday dinner, and it said fiery shrimp or fiery crab. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, you had fiery crabs. I didn't say a word, but I think wasn't it Danny?
No, but you brought up an old story.
Yeah, but wasn't it Danny that said sounds painful?
Yes.
Leave it to our family. But that was very nice. That was
Cousin Tony forgot your sobriety date.
January 27th, because January 27th.
Is that when they discharged you from the hospital? Or is that when you entered the hospital?
Yes, and yeah, I don't remember. It was a little blurry at the time.
I guess so. You're in.
But actually, I just saw that pop up, and well, not that, but on the shorts for YouTube, and I was actually a guest on my own show. We were in New York. We were in Ridgefield, Connecticut, at our studio, and our producer Matt Cronin we flipped. And he was actually hosting, and I was the guest on my own show.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the clips, and it happened to pop up today. And I played it, and there was actually two of them. The one was the stabbing, I think. Yeah, the one was when the fight when I got stabbed, and the other one was when I was in the hospital, and Dr. Death told me. Of course, you've got 6 weeks to live and everything that went in with that. And then all of a sudden had them, after 7 days of blood work and all these people entering my room and not telling me what's going on. On the 7th day, Dr. Death was at the foot of my bed, and it's on My Fighter War on my page. It just was kind of funny that it popped up today, and that's when he just started laughing and smiling at me. I was like, "What the shit? Here you are sending me home to die, and you're laughing at me." And that was I tell you what, a very nothing can prepare you for that. What hospital were you in? I was at Henry Ford, Maine,
He's on the
on
street
the
called the
boulevard.
Boulevard.
On the boulevard. Starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to jump on that before it happens. Henry Ford, Maine. I started out at Henry Ford Macomb on 19 Mile between Garfield and Hayes. I was only there a very, very short time because as soon as they did my labs and everything, I really, at that point, everything kind of was very blurry. I kind of blacked out at that point. But they told my mom and my family that there's nothing we could do for them, and we're sending them to Henry Ford, Maine. Um, and I spent the next month there, and 15 days of it in ICU. I coded twice, and they brought me back. And I'll never forget being in ICU, and all of a sudden, I just remember hearing a lot of yelling. I remember hearing a lot of alarms going off, and I remember the doctor literally grabbing me this close to my face, yelling, you know, basically what I wanted. How aggressive care do you want? And I was going out. He kept yelling this to me, and I literally had enough left in me to I was comprehending what he said, and it was just, but I didn't understand why he's asking me this. And I remember saying, "Do everything, everything you can."
Well, and I'm thinking to look at you because were you about the same size? I mean, you were always very muscular, right?
Well, I
because
wasn't
you would
like,
have been a challenge for them doing.
well, he
CPR.
was just yelling. I mean, so he's
Well,
asking
you're
me,
probably already intubated anyway.
what do you want done? And I was just, again, just very confused about why is he asking me about, and it still didn't compute, but I just remember saying, do everything. But, and I literally could feel myself just fading. And right before, the last thing I said before I went out was, unless unless the only thing that's keeping me alive is plugged into a wall, let me go. And he repeated that again. I'll never forget that. He said it again, and he said, "Is that correct?" I said, "Yes. If I'm just plugged into the wall, let me go." And from what I understand, they worked on me God knows how long, and they went out and told my mom and my family my intentions, what I wanted, because they were out there, and of course had to deal with all that. So it was, there was an episode on Chicago Med one time. I'll never forget it. It was an episode with this guy woke up and was having issues, really bad headache or something, and his wife brought him in to the hospital. Well, they're talking, and of course, okay, we're going to run a few tests and this, that, and everything else. And it's one of those things where they come walking back in, and he's laying in bed with his wife at his side, and they say, "We got your results back, and you have a tumor, and this tumor, it's malignant. And not only that, there's absolutely nothing we can do. We can't do chemo, we can't do radiation, we cannot do surgery. There's nothing we can do." And I can't remember, it was like, "You've got a month to live," or something like that. I remember watching that episode, and it literally, I froze.
Took you back.
And not because of that part, it's because what happened next. He sat there looking at the doctor, and of course there's crying, and no, this can't be, there's got to be something, which was one thing I did say to the one doctor. I said, "Please, there's got to be something you can do." And she said, "I'm sorry, there's not." But this guy, he looked at the doctor, and he said, "Well, I can honestly say I didn't expect to hear that when I woke up this morning. And I remember that day when they told me when they said, came into my room, and same thing. Woke up that morning. I can still remember I woke up, I had my breakfast. Um, I had occupational therapy. And then after that, the doc came in and starts talking to me, just like we're talking right now. And then laid it on me that there's nothing we can do for you. So I went from getting up that morning to start my day to literally an hour later being told that you have less than 6 weeks to live. And all of a sudden I remembered that episode and how that guy was talking to his wife. And he made comments like, how do something about, I'm sorry, because how do you prepare yourself for something like this? You can't. And I pray to God that none of you ever have that experience, because I've had people ask me what that was like. And to be honest with you, it was it just like it was nothing. I felt nothing. I felt no anger. I felt no fear. I felt nothing. At that point, it was like over. Everything was done. And I never cried. Not once. I'd never shed a tear. I never sat there begging God for that aha moment, like, please spare me. Now, nothing. And, and then even afterwards, when, 7 days later, when they said I was going to live, um, it was amazing because, I've had people say, were you afraid? And I said, the only time I was afraid is when they said I was going to live. And they're like, well, what the hell do you mean? Because it was followed with, don't even think about looking at alcohol. Don't ever. And I remember, how am I going to live? That's all I know.
Without drinking.
And I remember at that point being scared to death. How am I going to function day to day? And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to be in the basement, living like a troll, watching TV, never coming out. Because I remember thinking this.
Yeah.
Here they're telling me, Manny, you're going to live. And I was terrified.
Hooray, right? Hooray.
Here, Manny, you're going to be dead in 6 weeks. Oh. And it was just the opposite, because, it was like, how am I going to go to a family function? How am I going to go to a sporting event? How can I go out with my friends? Because that's what we do. That's what I do. And like, there's no way I can go through my life
without drinking.
Man, was I wrong. And I tell you what, I remember thinking to myself, and, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this and be happy. Man, I tell you what changed that they came back and said you were good. Amber, what happened was they came in, like I said, and told me, not only did they tell me that there's nothing they could do and I had less than 6 weeks to live, they had hospice come in, and they said, hospice is here. They're going to take over your care. They're going to, next thing you know, there's hospice. And I'll never forget that. Here, the nurse, it's just a very kind lady, is telling me how they're going to be there with me. I will not be in any pain or discomfort. I will be, medicated, and be comfortable up until my demise, literally telling me how I'm going to die. And here I am just talking to this lady. And, so what they had to do was they had to do blood work to give that to hospice. So what happened was they came in, took my blood. And when they came back, they didn't tell me this, but they came back like 4 hours later and they go, we need to take more blood. And I was like, why are you taking my blood, from a dead guy? And they wouldn't tell me. They said, oh, we just have to take more. Well, they took more. 4 hours later, they came back again and again, and they kept different sites. And, just different people were coming in. And I was like, what is going on? They wouldn't tell me. Then I was like, listen, I want to go home, because the next day, they kept coming in, and now there was more people in the room. So I went from just having one person to four people. Amber, this went on for 7 days, getting, blood taken. And they're telling me that there was a holdup with hospice. They're just basically giving me bullshit.
Mhm.
It went on for 7 days, but not only did this happen every 4 hours getting blood, but every time they'd come in, there were more and more and more people coming in my room asking me questions while they're taking my blood. Uh, it was insane. Um, and Amber, I'm going to tell you what happened when I had to tell my mom that. But so 7 days of getting blood drawn and hearing nothing except hospice. I'm still waiting to die. Don't forget,
Yeah.
they told me you have less than 6 weeks to live, which meant every time I closed my eyes, that could
Yeah.
have been the last
Yeah,
time.
right.
Because when hospice comes, as OG's a
Mhm.
nurse, when hospice comes in, it's literally from that moment on could be your last moment.
Mhm.
So I remember just staring out the window, trying to keep my eyes open because I wanted to see the trees. And then I just wanted to pass out. If that was going to be my last sight, I wanted it to be something like that. Um, so, anyways, like I said, I've got all these people coming in my room, and on the last day, on the seventh day of all
Mhm.
things, my room is full of doctors, nurses, personnel, and they're all with their iPads. And how do you feel? I could believe you're asking me how I feel. Well, Dr. Death, the one who originally, and his associate, the younger female doctor that said I had less than 6 weeks, were at the foot of my bed. And all of a sudden he looks at me and he starts smiling. And I remember just looking at him thinking, what the hell? And I just couldn't believe it. And all of a sudden he starts to laugh. And I'm like, you evil prick. You're sending me home to die and you're laughing at me. Well, he starts laughing more. And even the younger female, she's looking at me, and they look at all these people in my room. They are all laughing. And I was like,
Maybe I'm already dead.
I'm thinking, am I dead already? What the hell's going on? So the female doctor, because the other guy was busy laughing, she goes, Manny, we are sending you home, but we're sending you home to live. And now I'm like, what is going on? She
Mhm.
said, when we first took your blood to turn it over to hospice, um, we knew there was going to be no change. We knew that your kidneys, your pancreas, and your liver all shut down. I had complete organ failure, not partial, not limited,
Mhm.
complete organ failure.
Mhm.
Pancreas, kidneys, liver, all of them
That's why they call
were
them hospice.
shut down
Mhm.
because you do not come back. You die. Um, so, when that happened, they took the blood, but when they got it back, there was
Some
slight
movement, yeah.
changes in the levels, which they knew is impossible. So they came back to do another draw, thinking it was a bad
Mistake,
draw,
yeah.
something happened. So they redrew the blood, and it changed some more. Every time they came, my blood levels were improving. And I went from 6 weeks to live. 7 days later, my room's full of people, and they said, not only is your levels changing, your kidneys, pancreas, and liver are all functioning again, all functioning at normal levels, and your blood levels are fine.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
I was just like, and to this day, I mean, mentally, what that, you talk about PTSD, the things that I went through with as a first responder with police and EMS, with the shooting, with the stabbing, with other things that um, happened in my life that I've talked about at times. Um, but on top of that, dealing with, you're going to die. And then all of a sudden, 7 days later, no, you're going to live. I mean, for 7 days, every time I
Whiplash.
closed my eyes,
Mental whiplash.
I did not know if I was gonna open them again.
Mhm.
Um,
That's scary.
but Amber, to go back to what, about my loved ones, it's, funny you say that. Well, not funny, but when I was told that I had less than 6 weeks, the one female doctor, she goes, "Do you want me to stay, until your family gets here?" Because 'Cause I'm in a room by myself. They came in and laid this all on me by myself in the hospital and then walked out. So here I am sitting in this hospital room by myself, like, trying to process this. So now I'm thinking, I have to call my mom. And think about that. I mean, now I gotta pick up the phone, call my mom, and how do I do this? So I just had to do it. So I called her, and my mom answers the phone, and she goes, "Hi." She goes, "I'm just getting ready to go shopping. Do you want me to pick up anything to bring you?" And I remember I didn't say anything for a second because I just wanted to hear her voice, because thinking I may not see her. And uh, I said, "Mom, I need you to get to the hospital. I need you to come to the hospital now." And because I didn't want to tell her over the phone, obviously. And she said, "I'll be there. I have some running around to do." And I said, "No, Mom, I need you to come to the hospital now." And she was like, "I will." She was getting a little aggravated with me. She's like, "I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm going to do this first." And I remember being a little firm. I was like, "No, you need to get here right now." And no, she didn't know me at this time, Amber. Um, but I remember telling her, "You need to get here now." And I made it very, very firm, aggressive, and I ended up hanging up. Well, now I'm thinking, what do I tell my mother when she walks in the room? You know, how do you tell your loved one, your mom? How do you tell your mom this? So she comes walking in, and I remember, it was her, my aunt, a friend came in, and I remember just the only words I could get out were, "I'm sorry, I have to leave you," which made no sense to any of them. They're all thinking it's the medication, I'm hallucinating. And so then I asked to talk to my mom alone. And I said, "I'm so sorry. I have to leave you." I said, "The doctors said that because of what happened, I'm in complete organ failure. I have less than 6 weeks to live." And she didn't even blink. And she's just staring at me. And by this time, the other family came in, and they thought that I was hallucinating or something like that. They're like, "We need to talk to the doctors." Well, the doctors were right there. The doctors came in and they said, "No, there's nothing we can do for him. Unfortunately, he is in complete organ failure. His, and he's got less than 6 weeks to live. There's nothing we can do. Hospice is taking over his care." So, of course, there's a lot of tears and stuff going on, but not with mom. She is just taking stuff out of the bags and putting it on my tray. She goes, "So do you want this? Do you want that?" And I was just like, "Ma, we got to talk about this." And she's still just, and I go, "Ma, I'm so sorry." I go, "We need to talk." And then she goes, "No, no." And she said, "It's not up to them. It's not up to the doctors. It's up to God above when it's your time." And that's it. And that's
Drop
all
the
that was
mic,
that
you
was
know?
all that was
Boom.
said. That was all that was that's all she
Gives me the
said.
chills when you say that.
Now,
Yeah.
meanwhile, the doctors, hospice is there. The other family, they're there, and hugs and tears and crying and stuff. They didn't believe it either until the doctors were right there saying, "Yes, she's not going to make it." Um, so that was a very it was it brings me back to that episode on Chicago Med when that guy said, "I can honestly say I never expected to get this news when I woke up this morning." Um, so, my big pet peeve, and I hate it when anyone tells me, "I know how you feel." I don't know anyone who knows how I feel. when it comes to what happened here. And I pray to God that no one ever does. Uh, because as OG knows, as a nurse, when hospice comes in,
Mhm.
you're done.
Yeah.
And
They don't send you to hospice just for the heck of it. They're expecting that you are
yeah, so
on your way out,
you know,
as they say.
to go through that is something it's a very strange feeling because I do every now and then we'll have people, especially when I'm doing shows, will ask me in depth about these questions. Um, how did it feel? How did you feel? What I mean, and these are all questions that when you're being interviewed because of what we do on this show are questions that it should be answered.
Mhm.
To not only help others but to help me as well. But to this day, I really don't think of it as a big deal. Um, it just doesn't. I don't know. Like, oh, gee, when she first heard the story, she was just like, especially being a nurse, she's like, there's first, if you have one organ go down, you're in
Mhm.
trouble. When
Mhm.
you have
All
all of them,
3?
you're done.
Right.
And, for me, it's just like, well, it's like, I've had the doctors come in, Manny, this is a miracle that, that you're alive. I don't think of it that way. It's just like, no, it's just, whatever. No, I mean, you don't come back. I can't tell
Right,
you how many
right, right,
times
right.
doctors kept coming in after the fact because they kept me another week. And all these other doctors were coming in that actually came in from out of state. And it was a very just insane time in my life.
Mhm.
And I never in a million years thought something so terrible would turn into such a blessing, which is all of you, which is my fight, our war,
His
which is
therapy.
this is. I mean, sitting here talking to
Mhm.
you guys, and sharing what I just shared it's hard. It's very hard. Uh, to read because there's times I can, still go back to that hospital, man. I remember the sounds, just like the PTSD for, the dealing with that. Um, and the crazy thing is, I was basically not supposed to even leave that hospital alive.
Mhm.
Um, since then, I've been in that hospital and I've
A
had
few times.
3 back surgeries,
Mhm.
2 shoulder surgeries, and I think a hip surgery. Um, all replaced, and a knee surgery, or no, the knee was somewhere else. But I've had all these other surgeries at that same hospital. Um, after being told that I was going to be probably not make it out of that hospital.
That's why the
So,
surgical wing should be named the Manny
oh,
Vitale
it's
Surgical
the
Unit.
the one surgery I remember. It was my first or my second 7-hour back surgery. I remember
Oh
I was
my god,
laying in the
yeah.
room and looking out the window, and all of a sudden it hit me
Mhm.
because all of a sudden I was just staring out this window, and it was
Almost the same.
like it came back.
Mhm.
Those same moments, looking out that window, it brought me back to that day
It was like
when they
5
told me
years after, or 4 years or 5,
it was
what,
like 4 to 5
4,
years
yeah,
after my surgery, or
yeah,
after
yeah,
being told that I was back
back in the
in that
hospital.
hospital having my surgery. And I just remember staring out the window, and it was like, oh my God, I just realized this is the hospital that I wasn't going to walk out of. And there they are. There I am. They should have all lined up and had a parade. Yeah. You know what? I think they were just glad to get me out of there. I mean, I went from the medical bed unit
Mhm.
to ICU 3 times. And like I said, coded twice.
Mm, mm-mm.
And, it was intense. It was very intense. And again, that's why, you guys mean so much, and we talk about different things as far as counseling. We talk about different things as far as what helps. And that's another part of the story, Amber. Don't forget, this was in 2020. COVID shut the world down. I got out of the hospital at the beginning of February. COVID shut the world down then. Henry Ford, Maine was one of the hospitals got hit the hardest that I just left from my ordeal to go home to have the world shut down. So they told me, you need intense inpatient 24/7 rehab. I get home, go to the place they told me to go to the door, go to walk in. We are closed. If you have any withdrawal, any type of medical issues, any type of suicidal thoughts, go to ER. That was my recovery because everything was
Nothing.
closed. COVID shut the world down. So I had nowhere to go. I didn't know shit about social media. But by the grace of God, I have never had even the thought of wanting a drink, withdraw or anything like that. Nothing. Cravings. I don't even. It'll be 6 years. 6 years, right?
Mhm.
It'll be 6 years on January 27th, and I can go to bars. I mean, I can go to the casino. I go to sporting events. I go to family. I go to parties. You know,
And other people are drinking.
yeah, they're drinking right there. I've gone up and bought beer and shots and brought them to the table. You know, there's it's like I've never drank before. There's no urge to. I mean, not even the slightest urge to.
Amen.
You know what? Maybe I'll
Amen.
just have. It's not even there. In fact, my biggest thing is because now my drink is iced tea, but usually Arnold Palmer.
Mhm.
And I remember one time I was at a casino and I'm ordering my Arnold Palmer. And of course, they come in this plastic cup compared to the like a Long Island, which comes in a glass one. Well, there's a bunch of people and ordering drinks and all that. The waitress is coming over. Next thing you know, I ordered another Arnold Palmer and not thinking that sets a drink down. I grab it and I look, and as I was about to drink it, it was a glass instead of
Uh-oh,
plastic. It
uh-oh.
was a Long Island iced tea. And I remember I put it down. I mean, you would have thought it
like
was
you touched a hot,
kryptonite. It
like
was
a hot stove,
well,
right?
yeah, or like my kryptonite, man. I put that down and I go, excuse me. I go, is this a Long Island? She goes, yeah. And she goes, oh my God. And she took it away. But yeah, it was insane. But by the grace of God, man, no cravings, no withdrawal from alcohol, just
Mhm.
it'll be 6 years, January 27th, and being here with all you guys, sharing stories, my story, your stories. Um, that's what it's all about. So thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it immensely.
Well, you're getting lots of love on the screen, baby. I
Stay
just want you to know.
That story brings tears to my eyes every time.
Mhm.
Well, I love you, cuz you can't get rid of me that easy, man.
They've tried a few times. He's had a number of things go wrong.
Yeah, I said, I
that
had
was just the major one. Well, yeah,
that
kind of.
one nurse that came out when I had my arm cut
Sepsis.
open from sepsis. The doc or the nurse that came out to do the wound change, wound care, he's looking at my history. And this guy, I'll never forget him. He looked at me. He said, Manny, I don't know if you're a religious person at all. And he goes, I am. He goes, looking at your chart and looking at what has happened, he goes, you shouldn't have been here numerous times. He goes, I don't know what God has in store for you, but it's something. He goes, don't blink. And I'll never forget him, man.
And here you are. Sharing your blessings.
I've heard this story before. It changes every time. Tonight's more intense for some. Yeah, you know what, Amber? OG's heard it quite a few times because when we go on other shows, like in New York, when we do shows, sometimes we'll flip flop. I'll have a guest come on who has a show, and there'll be a guest on my show. And then when we're done, we'll switch things around and I'll be a guest on their show. So I'm telling my story. When I first told my story, there's a video I did. I think it was my first year of sobriety. I can't remember if it was whatever it was, but I did a video and it was the first video I did of, telling my story, and,
Bionic Man is
it
correct.
was intense. It was very,
Mhm.
intense to do, um, and I've noticed just like, you said, Amber, OG said one time, she goes, "I've heard this many times, but each time I hear
A
something a
little
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 bit
bit.
more."
Mhm.
And there's some things in my life that I can't talk about, um, regarding, stuff with police or EMS, and of course the motorcycle club, that I just can't talk about, because of, you know, personal reasons and safety reasons for myself and others. Um, but there have been things that I have talked about, in the previous stories, that I've told, because I feel it's time. And there are little parts of my life that I didn't think were, you know, important at that point, that it was, and it is. So I feel more comfortable sharing those. And so that's why, Amber, you're absolutely right. And I could tell the same story tomorrow, and you may hear even more.
Mhm.
Um,
And she said, "What brought you there initially?" What
what
was I
happened
you were yellow in the basement,
was
right, or
the
something?
day before, that I actually went to Maine. Um, my eyes were yellow. Just my eyes. The eyes were shade they were glazed over, and which is, of course, jaundice.
Mhm.
Um, Within one, not even 24 hours, by the next morning, I was yellow from head to toe. And you talk about ugly. I've said before how we all have colors that we look good in. There's certain colors you look good in. Yellow is not my color.
Mm-mm.
In fact, just recently, my Aunt Linda was one of the family member who was there with my mom throughout this ordeal. Uh, we were talking about this. God, I can't remember what day it was. It was just recently though, and my aunt was talking about what happened, and she said, "I'll never forget, I walked right by, because I was out in the hall. They had me standing and walking a little bit. She walked right by me." She said, she didn't. She goes, "I didn't even recognize my nephew." She goes, "You were glowing. You were so yellow."
Mm.
I mean,
Your liver was giving up.
it was done. Um, you know, there's no pictures. There is a picture of me at my goddaughter's birthday, and that was months after, and I'm still, I mean, you could notice the picture. I'll have to try to find it. Um, but my color is still not quite, what it should have been, but that just goes to show you how, I mean, for my aunt to say she walked right by me, I mean, yellow as can be. And, so what happened was I woke up, um, and, I don't remember a lot that evening, except I somehow was making some noise and I was staying at my ma's at that time, and, I woke her up, and I remember falling down into the bed again, and the next thing I remember was EMS was there taking me to the hospital, and that's how this whole ordeal started. And, from there, Henry Ford, Macomb, and then the next, month or so, Henry Ford, Maine, and, that's almost where I never, walked out of. But, it was something that, like I said, I keep going back to that Chicago med, how that guy, and when he said that, you only have, less than a month to live.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I never expected to hear, I can honestly say I didn't expect to hear that. So, yeah,
Woo!
it was, Amber, to say yellow, I mean, to my aunt, like I said, we talked, it was, insane when she brought this up the other day, and it just so happened what you just said that, she couldn't even recognize me. Sorry for the questions, but were you going through withdrawal on top of all that? The thing is, I probably was.
Mhm.
Actually, I had to have been,
Yeah, because
but I was in such bad. I mean, I was literally dying.
they were giving them Dilaudid,
So
so
my pancreatitis was so bad. How
oof.
that's another thing. For those of you who have ever had pancreatitis, it is so
It's
painful.
painful.
Here I am, you know, in that shape, and I was still in that much pain that they
Mhm.
started me on Dilaudid IV, and just pumping me with
So he probably
the,
went through withdrawal, but the Dilaudid hid the
and I didn't even
withdrawal symptoms.
realize it. And plus, I was, like I said, just so out of it. I was hallucinating from like the liver failure.
Mm.
They said all the enzymes that were
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
the
your
BUN
brain.
your BUN must have been
Yeah, they just said that you're
way
done.
high,
And
way high.
Amber, you could ask away, man, and that's what this family's for, man.
Uh-huh.
No, it's like I said, it helps me.
Mhm.
This is part of my therapy.
But just if the liver's gone, I mean, you can be dead for that. But
Yeah,
to have
just the
all
liver.
3,
And here I had liver, pancreas,
pancreas and
and kidney
kidneys.
all shut down. That's why, to me, it's just like, okay, it happens. And like, oh, geez, like, no, you don't understand. Like when she heard the story, when
Mhm.
I told her the story at the gym, she was just like, no, you don't come back from
Organ failure.
complete organ failure. You do not come back. It's not like a 50-50.
They bury you.
There's a reason hospice is there,
Mhm.
because from one organ shutting down, your chances are slim. But when you have all 3, there are no chances. And that's what
Mhm.
made this so insanely just incredible to go through. And that's why when I tell this, people will look at me like, they'll ask me, do you feel like it's a miracle? And I'm like, but it's me, and I don't feel any different. I don't feel like I had this, shining moment where I was healed. I don't have this sensational story to tell anybody. At times I wish I did, but I'm not going to make up stuff. It was something that literally I walked in, or the doc walked in, man, you're going to die. 7 days later, man, you're not going to die.
Mm.
And that's how it went. That's how it was.
Boom,
And
boom. However, after all of that, how long have we known? No, about 3 years. His kidneys were still a little slow. They were up to normal, but they're slow. But see what he's drinking? He's drinking water. I've irritated him enough to drink more water. So now his GFR, if you know anything about the kidneys, that's the number that you want to take a look at, has gone up, and his kidneys are like a normal. It's beautiful.
yeah, the kidney, there was an issue.
Latency with kidneys.
The docs are still worried about. They still, every time I have anything done, they make sure to check on that, because they, that could turn into something.
Mhm.
And
But it's gone. But your GFR's up. Yay!
and it's weird now, because any little thing that happens now, it's just like, oh, okay, because you kind of, like, for me, like I said, this whole thing, I don't feel any different, as far as this, what happened, as far as the whole, all the series of events that happened. Like I said, with even afterwards, I mean, the room was full of all these doctors that were coming up, just staring. I mean, these are doctors that came in from out of state, that are like, yeah, how are you feeling? I can't tell you how many times I was asked that. And this was right
Amazing,
before
yeah.
they told me I was going to live.
Yeah.
I'm freaking dying, you idiots! The nerve. How you're going to be dead in 6 weeks, Manny. So how do you feel?
Yeah, really. How do you think I feel?
I felt better.
Yeah, I've had better days.
Yeah.
Okay, now you were drinking for a long time, but how long were you drinking heavy?
That's another
Heavy.
funny one, because Brad McLeod, the host that I did my very first podcast, his was just a radio. It wasn't audio as well, or video as well. And I did his show. And I remember we were talking about this, and It was about people when they're talking about drinking, and when did it become an issue? When did it go from just socially, just a social event
A
to
daily.
being a serious issue? And I go, well, when someone tells you, well, I had this problem, but it didn't start until then. If they're telling you it started then, add another 3 to 5 years on there, is
Okay.
what I told him.
Oh, okay.
Well, a little while into the interview, he goes, so when do you think it became a problem for you?
Ah,
I go, probably the last 3 years. He goes, well, you just said. So is it 3 years? I
or is
go,
it 8
you know
years?
what, Brad? You got me, man. For me to sit here and tell you that it was maybe the last 3 years, no. I go, you're absolutely right. I go, add another 3 to 4 years onto that
Mhm.
is when things probably got worse
Mhm.
because I just, answered my own question.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, it was insane. I don't think if you were ever said or I didn't hear you say
You
you try to
try to quit.
quit at all. Did you try to quit before? Oh, did I try to quit before? No, actually, what I did do is I would walk into I went into a AA meeting after I went and bought a pint and took a few big gulps before walking in. And I only went in there to grab a few brochures. That way I could take them home and look. Yeah, I went. Here's the brochures and the pamphlets. So no, I
Yeah.
actually never did
Mm-mm.
attempt to try beforehand. Before my organ said, "Well, now you're going to quit."
Well, who told you to go to the AA meeting? Was your mom
Oh, it was,
or
my not well,
everybody?
the family, my cousin John, we had a few talks. I actually did have a intervention one time, which I was very unhappy with. I'm not going to sit there and tell people what to do. I've said that many times. I'm not going to tell people, for your rehab or recovery, you need to do this or you need to do that. You need to, sit down in person meetings. You need to do social media. You need to work to do what works for you. People are going to give you a shit ton of advice and
Advice.
suggestions. You're going to have people telling you, this is what you need to do, Manny. You know what I need to do? I need to do what works for Manny, not what worked for you or you or you. Um, and to be completely honest, I've had people tell me or actually say that I've slammed AA, which is a complete lie.
Mm-mm.
What I said was AA was definitely not for me. I did go afterwards to a very few meetings, and I knew from the minute I walked in that it wasn't for me. Um, for my own personal reasons, I felt very uncomfortable because it wasn't for me.
Mhm.
I know so many people that are
It's
part of
helped them, yep.
AA that are doing amazing.
Mhm.
I've gone with friends to AA that it helps them, and I'm a huge supporter. But again, it's got to be what works for you, not what somebody else wants to work for you. So, and no, I have never once slammed any type of recovery. I
Mhm.
don't care what it is. If it's a recovery group, family method, that's what you got to do. But the main thing is it's got to be what you want to do, nobody else. And that's all I said. And this individual went and said, Manny Vitale said that this, and this, which is 100% lie. I am a huge advocate of not only AA, but all of the other resources that are out there with FAN, with all of them, ours and all of the other families who are on social media. If your whole part of social media and whatever else it is to help, help people in addiction, I'm 100% with you, 100%. So don't ever, this gossip that's all over social media, you can't believe it. So, anyways, but when it comes to Amber, Jacqueline, and anyone, cousin, when it comes to talking about these things,
Mhm.
please, if I'm on here, if I'm the one who made the decision to sit in front of a camera and talk into a mic, and that's not to sit there and you know duck things. Sometimes the things that you talk about are the hardest, are the things that are the most important, and that's what I want to do. And that's like Amber, you nailed it tonight when you said these are things that you've heard before, but this is something a little bit more. And I promise you, Amber, the next time that I do share my story, you're going to hear even more. Um, because there's times where I've shared my story, but I mean, you heard this much from the hospital. There's, you know, so much that put me into that hospital from, like when we start these shows, it starts out, how were things growing up? So, and I've done that before. I've done it on shows, talking about my childhood, talking about a lot of traumas that happened that were my fault. And I will get into that and I will talk about it. And maybe that will be soon, but we will. And please, by all means, when that happens, if there's something that comes up during that show, Amber, Jacqueline, and Lori, or Coach, or Cousin, and Aunt Cookie, please feel free to ask because, by me talking about it and bringing up more, hopefully will help somebody else, but help me even that much more as well. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I hope that I tell you what, I never expected this tonight.
No, this went right off.
This went from
Right off the rails.
This went from
Poop
and learn to Manny's deathbed. And so before we leave, why don't we just have a
change the tone just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Let's see. Let's see what we can find before we head out. Oh, you know what? I turned to this page. Your liver can regrow.
The
liver is the only organ in your body that can regenerate. Even if 2/3 of it is removed, it can grow back to full size. This makes liver transplant more flexible. And some people donate just a part of their liver to help others survive. Man, how about that, folks? Let's see if there's anything else here. That was something. Oh, since I was about to die, you guys can visualize me, let's say 6 months after I'm dead. Picture that. And why is that?
Oh,
because hair grows. Well, first, hair grows. Hair grows after death. People used to believe that hair and nails grew after death. But what really happens is that the skin dries out and it shrinks. That makes hair and nails appear longer. It's an optical illusion caused by dehydration, not a creepy afterlife effect. So, if Dr. Death was right and I left this fine earth and you dug me up a year or two later, boy, you would have had a sight to see.
Oh, that hair.
Oh,
got a lot of hair.
I would have looked like Santa. Well, no, because I just read what happened. But anyways, you guys, thanks for spending an hour and 29 minutes with us. And again, like I said, I did not see this coming. But this is my fight or war. This is our family.
You never know what direction it's gonna go.
And we got OG, thank God, answering everybody because I went and last thing I was doing was I wasn't able to get everybody. So
but Lori just said, wow, liver can regrow. So that's why sometimes if somebody needs a liver transplant, they can take like half of your liver and give it to somebody else because yours will regrow and they probably need it.
Yeah, you'll hear everyone say a living transplant from a live transplant, and
liver's
but it's a portion
or a kidney, but you only need
Tracy,
you only need one.
Tracy,
you came at the very end. like dessert at the
Trace,
very end.
Tracy, we have been on for an hour and 30 minutes, and we're just about to. Kelly, that is at the rally, went into rehab in California.
Excellent.
That's awesome. And, that's something
We
we'll,
appreciate you letting us know.
Thank you for that. All right. Well, folks, I tell you, like I said, this was a surprise, but I should know better because when it comes to this family, and nothing should be a surprise. But tonight was. So you guys have a great night, and thanks for sharing this time.
Mhm.
And we will be chit chatting again very soon.
Mhm.
And when we
Probably Monday.
when we
Tomorrow with your mom.
yeah, we'll be hitting this up again, and we'll be discussing a lot of things. And like Amber, we were talking about, the questions need to be asked.
Mhm.
So we will discuss them. So until then, have a great weekend, and love you guys so much and appreciate you, every single one of you. And just remember, now more than ever, man, addiction's only word. It's not a death sentence. And keep fighting the good fight. Love you guys.